Once again, fight fans, we are set to go with our next battle tonight. 3 rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist standing 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in officially 170.5 pounds and brings a professional record that stands at 12 victories and 5 defeats. From Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, here is Benny Blanco Alloway. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Also a mixed martial artist, he stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed in at the welterweight limit, 171 pounds. This cage warrior veteran has stepped into the cage 38 times as a professional, bringing 26 victories and 12 defeats. From Chelmsford, Essex, England, he is Jack the Stone Mason! Referee in charge is once again Rich Mitchell.
And referee Rich Mitchell about to get this one underway. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors welterweight division. And Josh,
okay, you ready?
You've got to think whoever comes out on top of this one is taking a big step towards the top of that welterweight mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a busy division, Brad, but, well, Mason almost with a catch of the kick early, but choosing not to follow up on it.
Mason in the orange trunks. Benny Blanco. Ben Alloway in the black shorts. Brad Wharton and Josh Palmer here calling the action for you at Cage Warriors 65 in the Dublin Helix. The start of Cage Warriors month of March Madness. That's a huge fight in the welterweight division. Ben Alloway, beautiful body kick. Mason catches it, drives his man into the fence.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of waiting and timing for Jack Mason. We knew he was going to try and put Alloway in against the cage here and put him on his back. And that's his first entry to do so.
This is really what Jack Mason does best. We talked about it during the walkouts, Josh. He'll put you on the fence, he'll take you down, he'll bring the pain from top position. And looking for his first takedown of the night here is Jack Mason. Ben Alloway looking to create that low base, a big elbow there from Ben Alloway.
Yeah, I mean, this is a position we've started seeing those short inside elbows from so much more. But Mason able to pull the hips out and get Alloway to the ground immediately. Alloway's looking to post. Mason moving to the back now. But Alloway's going to keep the cage firmly pressed between himself and Mr. Mason.
Don't forget to join in the conversation on social media at Cage Warriors on Twitter with the hashtag CWFC65. Brad Tashchuk of MMA Oddsbreaker just tweeting us the closing odds for this fight. Benny Blanco -175, Jack Mason a slight underdog at +135. Mason though in control at the moment.
Yeah, Mason with the good body lock here. Alloway looking to re-pummel. Bit of a 50-50 position here, although Mason's got that good forehead control inside on the jaw of Alloway.
Nice short forearm shot inside from Jack Mason, keeping Ben Alloway guessing.
It's amazing the amount of fights that Jack Mason manages to rack up.
Okay, you need to advance in position against
so
the fence
good at
here.
grinding guys out over the distance.
Alloway trying to get a hold of the neck as Mason looks for this single leg takedown off the cage. Trips the leg out, and there's the takedown for Jack Mason.
Be interesting to see if Mason steps that right leg forward and keeps Alloway's feet elevated. That's going to stop him being able to post and get his hips back up off the ground.
We know Jack perfectly happy to grind this one out like this, Josh. It's where he does some of his best work.
Alloway has a grip on the wrist of Jack Mason, as though he's going to look for a triangle, but Mason breaks that, re-establishes control. Alloway's looking to get that leg out. And Mason gets his posture nice and forward. Good forehead control again from Mason.
Applying the pressure here on the ground is Jack Mason.
See if he can get some posture with his hips forward to land some strikes, but Alloway's going to try and get back up here.
Great job, Alloway, to get the hips out and get back up to his feet. And they separate. Alloway immediately moving forward. He spent a lot of time controlled up against the cage and on the mat already in this first round. He's got just under 90 seconds to do something with this first round.
I think he knows he's got to put the afterburners on a bit here to salvage this. Start getting the work rate up with the strikes especially.
No, Alloway is a striker by trade. Nice knee there from Alloway. That hurt Jack Mason. Kick to the body and a head kick from Ben Alloway.
Yeah, Mason can't afford to cover here.
Alloway turning up the heat.
And another big knee.
Mason was searching for the takedown, ate that big knee by way of a counter for Benny Blanco.
It's one of those things, when you're hurt, you either get all the way out or all the way in. Mason chose to go all the way in. Alloway saw that coming and tried to land the knee. But Mason's going to get a few moments to breathe here as he looks for this ankle pick up against the cage.
Alloway looking to create a wide base here.
Yeah, look for Mason to perhaps switch off to the single, but Alloway's got a bit of a frame in front of the face of Mason.
Mason needs to connect those hands if he wants to be able to scoop Ben Alloway up here. Alloway continuing to keep that base wide, looking to prevent the takedown. Final 10 seconds of the round.
Oh, and Mason, oh, and Alloway jumps guard for the guillotine now.
It's not in, he's not going to have time to finish it, but perhaps a strong finish in the eyes of the judges there from Ben Alloway. And Josh, we've had this conundrum a couple of times tonight already. Jack Mason kind of controlling most of the round, but the best offensive output went to Ben Alloway towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Alloway landed the most significant strikes there. Mason did some good work with scoring the takedowns, controlled for a huge portion of the round. But make no mistake, Alloway rocked him. I mean, here's the early takedown charge from Mason.
Taken off a body kick here from Jack Mason.
But he didn't manage to get too many shots off in this position. That was the problem. Alloway did a good job of forcing Mason to think about controlling the position. And then when Alloway got a chance...
Big knee there. That one made Mason think, and a nice head kick to follow up. Didn't land completely clean. Another big knee as Mason drove in for that takedown.
Yeah, it's a very interesting round for the judges to score there.
All right, wait. Mark, give me that towel.
An interesting round for us to watch here at Cage Side, along with our Cage Warriors fans watching live around the world, whether that's via one of our many live stream options or on television.
Okay, let's go.
Plenty of ways to get your Cage Warriors fix this evening here at Cage Warriors 65. Jack Mason and Ben Alloway throwing down here in our co-main event. Second of 3 5-minute rounds. 10 minutes to go if they need them. Alloway switching things up with a right-sided body kick this time.
Yeah, Mason ate that body kick, but it got him in on the takedown, and Alloway spins his way out.
Alloway looking aggressive there. Yeah, knee to the body. Mason trying for that takedown.
He's got to hustle in here. Got to try and regain some sense of composure, but having takedown stuffed is, well, A, it's tiring, and B, it's psychologically draining. There's a long way still to go in this fight. We've seen before that when Mason goes deep and then somebody manages to explode on him, I'm thinking Norman Parisi, that flying knee, it can sometimes cause him some problems.
Ben Alloway looking very confident here, sizing his man up.
Oh, and Alloway landing well on the feet.
And a nice right uppercut to follow it. And Ben Alloway is finding a home for those mitts now on the face of Jack Mason. Nice combination from Mason, who lands with a beautiful straight left. Shoots him for a takedown. Alloway able to sidestep it though and land a big knee on the way up. Alloway with a short elbow as referee Rich Mitchell warns about grabbing the shorts.
Nice frame from Alloway there with the forearm. Doing a lot of good work in blocking Mason's takedowns now. But that's out in open range and against the cage. Mason has time to slow the pace down a little bit more. But Alloway really starting to find himself on the feet there.
There's a single leg from Jack Mason. I was about to say that Alloway did a great job of creating that wide base to stop takedowns a couple of times in this fight, but Jack switching for the single there, ripping his man off the cage. Great work from the stone Mason.
Yeah, Alloway threatening this wrist control again. Perhaps looking for that left leg to flick all the way out and over the shoulder of Mason.
Mason perhaps looking to work his way past the guard now. Ben Alloway, nice short elbow on the right-hand side there from Mason.
See how Mason immediately has to go to holding the hips, because if he doesn't, Benny Alloway is going to be popping straight back up to his feet. What that, of course, is doing is limiting the amount of strike offense he can get off.
Jack Mason's corner asking for action here. Mason slowly advancing his position.
He needs those moments of posture when he can land some really strong ground and pound. We saw against Matt Inman. And when he got the chance, he was able to posture up, land a couple of elbows. He only needs one or two to find their way through.
Incredibly physically well put together specimen is Jack Mason. He's got a lot of power, especially when he's in that top position. Big punches, big elbows. Ben Alloway back on his feet here.
I mean, like we said, it's going to be interesting to see how Benny Alloway reacts to coming back after 2 losses. As this fight starts going deeper, what's playing into his head?
It's been a topic of conversation all week, Josh. This really is a pivotal fight for both men's careers. Ben Alloway, as you said, on the 2-fight skid, really needs to get back on track here. Jack Mason, if he's aiming for a Cage Warriors title shot this year, can't afford to drop fights. Nice knee up the middle by Mason.
Yeah, good control here on this grip. Alloway just breaking and moving away. Alloway needs to start throwing, I think, with a bit more regularity. I mean, you know, so does Mason. Mason has excellent hands when he throws them. But so often in his fights, he falls into a bit of a counter-punching pattern.
Mason able to go underneath the shot from Alloway there. Not able to get the takedown now. And it's Alloway looking for a takedown now. Alloway throwing those digging knees to the thighs of Jack Mason. Not fight-ending shots of themselves. But as this contest wears on, they all count.
Yeah, much better round for Benny Alloway here.
20 seconds left in this second of 3 5-minute rounds here at the Dublin Helix. Lots of action here at Cage Warriors 65. Still a huge main event to come between John McGuire and Saul Rogers. Second round in the books, Josh. And as you said, a much better round for Ben Alloway.
Yeah, just able to put more together over the course of the whole round. He obviously had that fantastic moment where he rocked Jack Mason in the first, but as an overall round, that was much, much better for him. And I just wonder, it just seems as though perhaps there's some fatigue setting in to Jack Mason.
Well, let's take a look back at some of that action now. A body kick from Ben Alloway to start things off. And a real onslaught here from the Aussie. Knee to the body, and Mason desperately trying to get that takedown. Not successful on that occasion, though. And a big uppercut, left hook combination from Benny Blanco. Short strikes to the thighs here from the Aussie. And let's see if he can keep this momentum up going into the third and final round.
I mean, if I was Jack Mason, I think his corner have probably told him, you can't afford to risk this going for the judges. That first round is going to be very contentious. I think on balance, the second probably went to Alloway.
Last round, gents, let's go.
So let's see who wants this one more.
Jack Mason, Ben Alloway. Huge fight for the Cage Warriors welterweight division. Alloway with a head kick. Didn't land clean, but landed nonetheless. Going to keep Mason guessing as he pours out with the jab. Expect the takedown to come behind one of those jabs soon from Mason.
I like the movement Alloway's exhibiting at the start here.
Overhand left from Alloway, nice kick to the leg.
I think we can expect Alloway to try and keep this one on the outside. Keep the strikes going.
Nice jab landed there from Mason. The Englishman really needs to turn it up a gear though. He latches onto that single leg, drives his man into the cage, and immediately we see Ben Alloway trying to get that wide base to prevent the double leg takedown. We saw Mason switch to a single in the second round, but he looks like he's committing to the double here, Josh.
Yeah, he's got his hands connected. He's managed to earn himself another good takedown. And Alloway with a bit more urgency to try and scramble back up here. Mason gluing himself to Benny Alloway. He needs to put this back on the ground again. Alloway looking to break those grips and try and scrape Mason off against the cage.
Alloway really sinking down into that, trying to break that grip, and he does. Great work from the Aussie there.
Yeah, it was good defensive wrestling.
And immediately steps back into the center of the cage, putting Mason with his back to the fence. But gives the striker an advantageous position to create angles, cut his man off.
Yeah, I mean, the further Benny Alloway's back is away from the cage, the happier I think he'll be in this one.
Absolutely.
Leg kick starting to build up for him now.
Straight left hand to the body. Ben Alloway throws the high head kick up.
I think a lot of force going through the guard there. I think we're going to see a lot of single strikes, just trying to be very accurate from Benny Alloway.
Nice double jab from Mason to answer back, but it's Alloway landing the more serious strikes on the feet here.
Good left hand snapping Jack Mason's head back there.
Alloway really loading up on these shots now, Josh.
Yeah, Mason's got to fire something back here, because at the moment, starting the swing that Alloway's dictating this one. And with that second round, could be all he needs to take this.
Just over 2 minutes to go in this welterweight contest. Everything to play for here between Jack Mason and Ben Alloway. Mason doubling up on that jab again.
Yeah, he is finding the mark. It'd be nice to see that right hand come behind it, though.
Mason surging forward, but nothing coming of it. Alloway answering back with a couple of shots there. This really is anyone's game.
Oh, push kick from Benny Alloway. Mason's got perhaps the opening he was looking for.
90 seconds on the clock. Let's see what Jack Mason can do with this position here. He's got Ben Alloway in his own corner. Tony Maguire, Jason Coolidge, Sean Carter, three men with Cage Warriors experience, giving him instructions. Trying to connect those hands.
Yeah,
he's going to single leg. Huge elbow from Ben Alloway there.
Felt the thud as that connected. Mason cannot afford to hang out here.
Alloway being warned to make sure those elbows aren't 12-6 as Mason gets the takedown. This is exactly what he wants, Josh.
Yeah, only 50 seconds left. Let's see if Alloway tries to throw something up off his back.
Mason needs a strong finish here.
Fingers out.
I honestly don't expect Jack Mason to leave too much space at this point. He's just going to try and weigh on Benny Alloway for the rest of this round. But I don't know if that is going to be enough for him.
It's a big roll of the dice, Josh.
It really is.
Very, very close first round. You've got to think the second went to Benny Alloway. And Benny Alloway throwing up a triangle here, Josh.
Oh, well, is that what he needs? Time is ticking away for him, though, as he looks to tighten it up.
Just seconds remaining on the clock. Final 10. Alloway throwing elbows. Trying to finish strong here in Dublin.
I love that he's just using the grip and throwing strikes, not worrying about the submission.
And Josh, a conundrum for our judges. Mason raising his hands, Alloway raising his.
It is going to be...
I've not got a clue.
No. Both guys had passage of good play. Alloway did by far the better work on the feet. Mason did land some good shots, though. When it came to the takedown game, Mason landed those takedowns repeatedly throughout the fight, but wasn't able to capitalize with them too much once he scored them. But of course, this is scored round by round, not over the course of the entire fight. So it is going to be very interesting indeed.
Well, let's take a look at some of the action that our judges will have been assessing. Head kick there, just brushed the toes off the side of Mason's head, otherwise that could have been very dangerous. Mason with a nice takedown here, up against the cage, pinning Alloway in between the fence. Another big head kick from Benny Blanco.
And you can see when he opened up with the strikes, he did start to worry Mason, but Mason was able to find one last takedown.
And the selection of replays there from our truck have, really shown a true picture of the fight. It was Mason with the takedowns, Alloway with the striking. Who's got the win? We're about to find out as we throw this to Joe Martinez in the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards, and all 3 judges have it scored the same, 29-28. Your winner by unanimous decision, Benny Blanco Alloway.
Ben Alloway takes the decision, 29-28, and Josh, as we suspected, the first and second round possibly there going to Ben Alloway. Very, very close first round. Alloway took the second much more comfortably. And a successful return to Cage Warriors for Benny Blanco.